During Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker had a duel with Count Dooku at the end of the film and would get the living crap beat out of them, and Yoda came in and jumped all over the area, so Dooku decided to flee Geonosis. But what if Dooku was defeated by the Republic right then and there on Geonosis? This is clearly only possible if a clone trooper who voluntarily joined Obi-Wan and Anakin had survived. You see this brave, nameless, heroic clone jumped off the gunship, but was shot and killed after the gunship was destroyed by the bugs. But what if those bugs couldn't aim and the clone trooper didn't fall to his death and in fact would survive in this attack and go in to fight Dooku alongside Obi-Wan and Anakin? Would it even have an impact? And to that I say yes. Yes it would, no doubt. The duel starts off the same with Obi-Wan telling Anakin to move in slowly on the left, and Anakin then goes running saying he'd taken Dooku now, as Dooku shoots electricity from his hands at Anakin and uses the Force to raise him up in the air. The unnamed clone trooper then fires a single shot which hits Dooku in the chest, and Dooku then drops Anakin in midair, and the Chosen One now has a broken back. But Dooku is now hit, and whips out his lightsaber right then and there. Obi-Wan then duels Dooku, and at the same time the clone walks behind Dooku and blasts the Count in the back of the head. The Republic now has dealt a great blow to the Separatists. However, despite the fact that the clone has killed Count Dooku, the Jedi will not look upon his actions positively, as they would have preferred to have taken Count Dooku alive. But no matter, the Grand Army of the Republic immediately promotes him, as he had killed who they saw as the leader of the Separatist movement, and the architect of the Clone Wars who killed many Jedi on Geonosis. Palpatine then starts to sweat nervously, as he has lost his figurehead for the Separatists, so for the moment, he is not controlling both sides of the war. Many will see the death of Dooku as a potential moment to negotiate with the Separatists, but Palpatine isn't having any of it, and decides to block negotiations in any way he can and go about installing a new figurehead to rule the Confederacy of Independent Systems so that he can easily manipulate the rest of the course of the war. The problem is, he doesn't really have anyone to install who he knows can be trusted with his master plan. The Separatists still have their droid army to face the clone army, but the Separatists might have a decapitation issue where once their leader, being Count Dooku, is killed right when the conflict begins, then various elements of the Separatist alliance might implode. The Separatist Council then takes temporary control until Darth Sidious can choose a proper puppet. Possibly Newt Gunray is chosen by Palpatine, as he and Gunray go way back to the events of Phantom Menace, but Gunray is kind of a wimp, which has its pros and cons for Palpatine. So I figure that Palpatine might be choosing Gunray to lead the Separatists at this point. The early Clone Wars sees Gunray and the Separatist Council try to keep the Confederacy of Independent Systems united as more moderate elements reconcile with the Republic. Palpatine will do some master manipulations into stalling any forms of peace, and the war will escalate. I feel like in order for Palpatine to reinvigorate both sides into fighting one another, he will stage devastating attacks on each other's capitals, similar to what had happened in the Clone Wars show. So the war will continue and only have a few minor speed bumps for Palpatine. The course of the war will be pretty different without Count Dooku. You see, Palpatine needed Dooku as someone he could discuss his plans with on the other side, and he can't really do that with Gunray, who's a bumbling buffoon and can't be trusted. So it's possible that Palpatine won't have as strong and flexible of a plan for the war. Also, Dooku had many duels and fights with the Jedi, which won't be happening anymore, as General Grievous would be heightened to the #1 public enemy for the Republic, who slaughters more Jedi and is targeted more often as Palpatine searches for a new apprentice to be killed by Skywalker. When it comes to the time of Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu and the Jedi Task Force go to arrest Chancellor Palpatine, and Windu takes the same clone who had shot Dooku with him, as an insurance policy to make sure Palpatine comes quietly. However, when Palpatine reveals himself to be Darth Sidious, he tells the clone trooper to execute Order 66, and because this clone is clearly built different, he says no and then headshots Palpatine before the Sith Lord can jump on the Jedi. The battle ends abruptly, and the Republic wins the Clone Wars. The final theaters of the war see an end as Anakin and the 501st invade Mustafar and initiate the shutdown orders for all of the Separatist droids. As the war ends with the Republic victory, Anakin is sad that he wasn't able to fully prove himself as the Chosen One, and that a clone trooper had upstaged him. However, peace is achieved in the galaxy as the Republic must now face Separatist insurgents and begin the hard task of reconciliation among former Separatist planets. That's of course just one possible way I could see that going, but what do you think would have happened had the clone trooper survived and joined the duel against Count Dooku on Geonosis? Write in the comments, and thank you for watching.